top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short. We're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now let me ask you, what do you like when it comes to time? Do you let the day just kind of fall between your fingers? Or do you grip it and take hold of it and try and control it the best you can? Now, the reason I'm talking about that is I've been doing a lot of reading recently, and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts of successful people talking about business and things like that, and you know how they kind of go through their day-to-day activities. And what I've noticed, which you probably have heard before, is that they have a lot of morning routines and they have a lot of daily routines because they want to take control of the day. You know, they want to control their 24 hours, exactly what happens in different parts of it. You know, a lot of them sometimes get up maybe first thing in the morning. Sometimes they get up before the sun. Now, it's not to kind of be a macho thing saying, well, I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or I get up at 5 o'clock. No, the reason they get up so early is because they want to control their day from the very, very first moment. Now, a lot of us, unfortunately, when it comes to our mornings, we probably rely on an alarm clock. We probably, if we have to go to work, we probably get out maybe 20 minutes before we're supposed to, maybe 10 minutes, and we get up, we rush to get our clothes on, we grab a cup of coffee or whatever, and we're straight out the door in the car or on the bus, and we're rushing away for work. And from the moment we get up until maybe we get to work, or maybe later on in the day, we're constantly running and running and running. You know, we're rushing, try to catch up on the day, because we've let the day already get ahead of us. We've already let the clock run ahead of us, and we're trying to rush through our day to bring back that time. But what I've found with the successful people is that they take the opposite approach. They get up before everyone else. They get up at the crack of dawn. They get up before the sun. And what they do is they focus on what they want to get done first, whatever jobs they need to do. You know, if they need to go into the office early, they know if they get in early, there's probably going to be hardly anybody there. It's going to be really quiet. There's going to be no distractions, and they can get the work done. Or if they're going early, they may head to the gym. Again, they know if they get to the gym, there's going to be less distractions. There are going to be less people fighting over exercise equipment. They can get in, do the exercise routine, and get out as quickly as possible. Again, sometimes maybe some of them start off the day with, you know, meditation or some type of kind of calmness, maybe praying or reading the Bible or whatever. Again, because they find those moments are probably the quietest in the day, because the rest of the family are in bed and relaxing. So I find that, you know, they're really obsessed with time and controlling as much of it as they can. Now, I remember the great Ben Settle say one time that when it comes to your work, if your work is important to you, it should be more important than anything else. You know, if you have a 9-to-5 job right now, your work should be more important than that. And what he says is that you should give the first portion of your day to your work. So, for example, maybe if you're doing blogging or fiction writing or something like that, or maybe recording a podcast or whatever, that should be the first thing you do when you get out of bed. You know, you should get out of bed, you should work on your work when you're your freshest, and then after that then go off and do your 9-to-5 job or whatever you need to do. But when you do get your work out of the way first thing in the morning, before everyone else, at least you know then that if everything goes wrong, because sometimes no matter how good we have our day planned out, you know, some emergency will come along, some child will fall over and need to go to hospital, or somebody will take sick, or a car will break down, or something will happen, and sometimes you don't get to do our work. And, you know, if you are putting your work at the end of the day, you're really relying on everything to work out perfectly for you to get to that point, to get your work done. But a lot of things can happen in your day which lead to maybe you having less time, maybe not being able to focus on your work, or maybe just not getting as much done as you'd like to do, and then you have to carry it over into the next day. Whereas if you take control of your day, put your work at the start of the day, it means that once that's done, you don't really care about what happens the rest of the day. You might have your blog article done. You may have your exercise routine done. You may have your videos recorded or whatever. But all of that's done. And then the rest of the day is yours to, use whatever you want. And again, I found that, when it comes to time, people who are really successful are always trying to wring as much as they can out of 24 hours. Because basically, you, I, all of us, we only have the same 24 hours. Richard Branson has the same 24 hours as you and I have. Elon Musk has the same 24 hours. Jeff Bezos has the same 24 hours as we have. But the way they look at the 24 hours is they try and find activities that will pay off them higher than you and I that could be getting per hour. A lot of us sometimes go to 9-to-5 jobs. We could be only getting maybe $10. But people at that kind of bracket, the successful people, look at, what's a higher payoff I can get for this hour of my time. I doubt you're going to find, Elon Musk giving away an hour of his time for $10 or giving an hour of his time away to, hanging out on Instagram or on social media. No, he knows how important his time is. He values his time at a certain rate. And because he, values it at that rate, he's not going to flit it away on something stupid. He's not over on Netflix watching some box set. He's not, in some argument with a couple of trolls on social media. No, because that's not where he needs to be, because that's not where the value is in his time and his day. And you'll find a lot of people who are successful are always reading. They're always kind of listening to podcasts, because when it comes to time, they know that if they maybe buy a book from someone who was successful in business, they know that they are getting the condensed version of that person's life. In that book that might only be maybe 200 pages, long, there could be 10 years, there could be 20 years of someone's mistakes, of their successes, of all their tips and tricks. So really, isn't that a great way to save time? Instead of having to make mistakes yourself for maybe 10 or 20 years, imagine you could buy someone's book where all that information is condensed down into, 200 pages, where possibly you could read it maybe in a day or whatever. So again, they're always looking for time, way to condense their learning. How can you show me how to do this quicker? How can I do this faster? Can I outsource this? Can I maybe get a piece of software? Can I maybe take this piece of content and duplicate it, repurpose it? Can I put this piece of content into 10 places instead of one place? They're always constantly thinking, how can I wring more and more and more out of my 24 hours? So that's why I found, as I said, I have found that from the podcast and from the books I've listened to, a lot of these people who are really, really successful, they grab their day by the scruff of the neck and they hold on to it for as long as they can during the day to get as much work as possible. I remember reading about the great, or he actually maybe had said it in an interview, I'm not too sure, but the great Dan Kennedy said that on his desk he has a little clock that has a stick of dynamite attached to it. So it's almost like one of those kind of old-time kind of bombs that you would see. But he has that on his desk, and he values his time as, so valuable that it's almost like if he gives it away to someone else, it's going to take something from him. It's a loss. So he always has that kind of stick of dynamite with that wee clock attached to it to keep him focused on time. And again, he says no matter where you walk through his house, there's clocks everywhere. And when he's working through his daily routine, he knows exactly that if he's getting up first thing in the morning, the first 2 hours of his time are going to be on writing. Then he might go to the toilet, and then he knows maybe for the next 2 hours he's going to be doing one maybe interview on podcasts after another, maybe half an hour with each one, or maybe he's going to be calling clients back for the next hour or 2 hours, and everybody has 15 minutes. And with Dan, he only gives you 15 minutes. He doesn't give you 16 minutes. When it comes to 14 and a half minutes, he's winding up that call and he's already getting ready for the next call. So he sees his time as really valuable because he wants to get as much done in his day. But a lot of us, unfortunately, outside those kind of realms, outside that success, don't see our day as valuable. We will just kind of sit back and just kind of say, well, I've got plenty of time to do that tomorrow. Or I've got plenty of time to do that next week. Or, let's just sit down and we'll just, spend the day watching this whole box set on Netflix. We just flit away our time because we believe that, we're going to have plenty of time to work on that business or write that book or do the podcast or whatever. But really we don't. As soon as we come into this world, our life is counting down. A lot of us believe that, Our life will go on forever. It's going to be a journey that's never going to come to an end, but it will come to an end. What we need to do is we need to remember that. We need to remember that there's a countdown over our head that is counting down second by second by second until the day or the moment we won't be here anymore. So isn't it better maybe just to grab your day, to try and get as much done in your day? Because when you look at those people, when you see how much they get done in the day, and when you don't realise what they're actually doing, on the outside we don't see what their daily routines are like, but we look at them, we say, how did they get that much done in 1 year? How did they get that much done in 5 years, 10 years? From where they started to where they are right now. But what we don't see is the fact that they grip every day. They wring everything they can out of the day because they know that one successful day on top of another successful day is going to make you a successful life. And it's going to come a lot sooner than just doing a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the next day, because they know that's going to take too long to do and they mightn't actually get to see that completed thing. So if I was to remind you of anything, and also to remind myself, is to try and grip today by the scruff of the neck. Try and wring as much as you can out of it. Have some routine set up where you focus on your own work first. Even maybe if you haven't got enough time maybe to do a lot of things today, break up maybe half an hour first thing in the morning where you work on your writing or you work on your health or whatever, and have that, first thing in the morning, and then you can extend on that. Maybe later on in the day you could find maybe another half an hour to focus on something else on your business. But at least out of the 24 hours you are guaranteed you're going to get 1 solid hour of work done. And then you find, after that then your health will improve, you'll start making progress, you might get more free time because maybe you're going to have more money coming in, and then you can use that free time to get more of your most important work. So don't let your day run away with you. Be like those successful people. Soon as you get up in the morning, see if you can get up before the sun. See if you can grab the day, so that when you do start, it's you that's in control of the day rather than the day in control of you. Because a lot of us, unfortunately, we let the day run away on us, and because we let the day run away on us, we say we'll do it tomorrow, but again we go back and do the exact same routine, and then we lose that day as well. So just remember, like a great wall, a great life is just built on single days, one stacked on top of the other. And if you put enough of those successful days on top of each other, you're going to build an amazing life that people are going to be surprised. How the hell did you do that? But basically you did it one successful day after another. So stop letting your day get ahead of you. Grab today, or if your day is over, grab tomorrow morning with the scruff of its neck and try and get the most done as you can. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Before you go, Barry would like to give you a free copy of Words to Wealth. In it, he's going to show you 10 ways to make money from writing. Head on over to writecome.com now for your copy. Have a great day and come back soon.